Welcome back to the channel, folks. My name is Joel Duggan, and we're hanging out here in West Hill again today, working on the marsh just outside the main gate, picking up right where we left off with a giant ugly tower that we've been using to look down on the marsh and see how we're doing. We are starting after putting a bunch of stuff away yesterday, so fresh ideas, fresh day, and I think we're going to start with the bushes. I think I want to do those scattered around first. I'm not sure what the best method actually is. Maybe we should go look at the other marsh as well and see how dense I had put the bushes in. If you're curious about all the things that you're seeing, it's all available on YouTube at Joel Duggan VODs. If you're watching this later on Joel Duggan VODs, maybe consider subscribing. We're a handful of people away from 1,000 subs on YouTube, and I would very much appreciate it. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot more mud over here, like more brown patches, so I'll go lighter on the grass I think today. And there's a lot of bushes. I think those are more densely packed than I currently have. Yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there's only like five or six blocks between bushes, so we will figure it out. We'll need all the grass. Grab the ferns. Carpet and azalea. And some jungle bushes. I think that's pretty much it, right? Oh, maybe some of these lovely dead bushes that Cosmic dropped off. How's everyone's Sunday going? So far, so good for me. Had a brunch. Made a Dutch baby. It's like a blueberry custard brunch thing. The only issue I'm having is that my oven is really inconsistent with the temperature. I had it set to 425 Fahrenheit, but I decided to use my barbecue probe to double check the temperature, and I set it to 425. I was supposed to cook it at 450, but I set it to 425, and I saw temperatures everywhere between 430 and 550 constantly. So something screwy with the thermostat on my oven, which sucks because I like to cook, and I like to cook with accuracy. It's not so bad for roasting meat. If you're roasting anything, it's all right because meat's about internal temperature, and once you reach internal temperature, as long as you're not burning the outside, then you should be fine. And even then, sometimes a little caramelization is not bad. Oops. I'm not sure where these dead bushes could go. Maybe I'll just like select a few places where they might look good. I've also got drip leaf I could put in here too. That helps add a little bit of brown in there too. We might be able to sprinkle that in, maybe in the distance. Maybe that'll look too obvious. No, I think that looks all right. Very rainy and cold, says Jonas. It's beautiful here. We had a terrible rainstorm yesterday, but now it's like, I think it's like 10 degrees outside. No, that's 4. Still chilly, but it's sunny. It's probably nice and warm in the sun. One of those fall days where the sun is still warm, you know? This is just going to be straight up time consuming, isn't it? I guess I don't need that. A little bit more room down here. Maybe I should just think about like the bushes kind of slowly taking over. And have the growth kind of like span out from a central point. That might work too. I don't remember if I did any too tall grass in the marsh. I don't think I did. If I did, it's way along the edge. Yeah, just a few up against the edge. But that's only going to make sense if we have a steep edge. So some places over there it might make sense. Yeah, so I'll have to think about that later. Sham, welcome in. Would you like me to go get Alistair to log in and tell you it'll be worth it in the end? No, I get it. I understand. I know the hole that I've dug. Yeah, I think that's kind of a good strategy is making like little hubs, and then we can go in and maybe fill in things around where we need to. Yeah, I feel like I've made that a little bit too dense. I might pull that back a bit. So instead of an even spread of grass, I'm kind of thinking about little pockets. Basically where my brain is at. Oops. I don't know why that does that. Oh my gosh, Elytra, mess off. How did I flatten the town? I didn't. I didn't. I went with how the terrain kind of went, and I kind of took inspiration from that. So the keep is actually up on a natural hill. So this was a normal hill in Minecraft. So I built the wall at the base of the hill, which means I didn't have to build up as much. It is hollow underneath there to a point. There are some places where there's nothing going on. I might have filled it in. I don't think I did, though. Yeah, so already I feel like this little section up front is more interesting than what I've got going on over here. So I'm going to go through and maybe take out a little bit here. Especially back here. It's a little bit better. Yeah, that starts to feel a little bit more interesting. Could also keep some green, but change the height of it by adding in carpets in places. Actually, that might look better as a jungle bush. Yep, I like the less grass technique a bit better. Something that kept on popping through my brain yesterday was the line from Gollum in Two Towers, warning Frodo and Sam to not look at the lights, not look at the souls in the dead marshes. I have to rewatch those films. I haven't seen them in a long time. I used to watch them every year. I need to go maybe grab some drip leaf and see what I can do with that too. I really wish they would allow us to have grass that would start in the water but then come out of it. The only time you can do that if something is too deep, which I guess we could try to do. Need some bone meal and drip leaf. I could try it maybe close here. Or it could be interesting, like right here. Although it sways back and forth, so that may or may not be what we want. Well, I guess the little one stuff sways back and forth too. I think it's going to be something we do just like where it's close, where it makes sense. Now there's really some deep water to fall into. And I'd probably want to have a drip leaf somewhere here. So that's too tall to be that far forward. We'd have to put that farther back, I think. More like back here. Whoops. Well, that might not be a bad idea. Camouflage is a little bit too much. That's better. How long before I fall in deep water and get stuck? Oh man, that's a short bet. Benji Bananas, good to see you. Welcome in. Nice thing about the ferns is that they don't really cover up much of what's underneath them. The grass kind of obscures the brown, but you put a fern down and it doesn't really take up too much space, which is nice. Something I've been thinking about recently because I get wrapped up in what I'm doing sometimes on stream. Does anybody know if there's like an OBS plugin that will give the streamer like just a little audio beep when there's a new chat message? Doesn't have to be loud, and I wouldn't want it to be something that would be heard on stream. It would be just one of those things that would be nice, you know, if you're having a chill stream and you're concentrating. More bushes back here. Kel Birdie, 6-month gift subscription courtesy of Cosmic Dancer has entered the 4th month. Thank you for the shout out for Cosmic Kel. Thanks Cosmic for the lovely gift sub. 11 months in total for Kel. 1 month shy of a full year. And what an amazing year it has been, says Kel. Community full of lovely people, hosted by an amazing person. Oh, thanks very much. That's very nice of you. Always glad to have you around. Is this empty now? That's empty now. Get rid of that. Do I have a spot for pink candles? I do. Yeah, I've got room in the top of the keep, actually. There's a spot. Where is it? Right there. That room is very, very empty. And it needs a lot of decoration. So when I finally update the data pack, the thing that I've been noticing actually is that the updates, the snapshots, have been focusing a lot on the 1.21 experimental features, but we've got absolutely no information as to when 1.20.3 is coming out. We've seen no further changes to it. We've seen no updates on it. So I'm really hoping that we're going to see a release candidate soon, because I've been waiting and wanting to update some of my data packs and stuff. All right, I think I need to get a little bit higher. I'm a little bit close to this right now. It's not bad. A lot of grass, but I think the other one is a lot of grass too. Man, more bushes. Maybe I need to be a little bit less precious with the bush placement. Whoops. Well, that's there now. Actually, what I can maybe do is start using some more roots. Maybe that'll help things a little bit. Unfortunately, these are so big that they kind of take up the whole space when you put them in a small spot and don't. And if you don't make them taller. Yeah, it's tricky to not overdo it. I think I prefer the jungle bushes farther away than up close. I really wish we had, and this could be a nice data pack to add, which would be in the same way that we've got random flowers. Like, I don't know if I can see any around. Oh, there's some there. So we've got a simple data pack that has two different kinds of flowers. And it's like a single flower, as Minecraft vanilla kind of intends, and then another one that's just like a jumble. And it's random. It's just based on the block space. I can't remember what that technology or the back end is called, but it's just two different models and that's it. And it would be nice if we had that with grass. It would be nice if we had grass that had like tall and then short. And I've seen people do it with texture packs before. The only issue is that I very often will want something very specific. And it does get a little bit frustrating with those flowers when you want a big fat flower, but then where you're building, the block space is not programmed to give that. And I find that frustrating. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Now, I'll get into some of this a little bit later, but something else we can do is bring in some bushes to soften up the edge of this a little bit in some places. So I find that it helps make it feel more overgrown and that some of this is denser along the edge. You can have some fun with that. Helps with the view as well. Really can't see it from back here, but you can see it from up here a little bit. And certainly when you're closer. With the new copper blocks coming, do they fit into any future builds you might have planned? I hadn't really thought that far ahead. I might be able to do something cool in like a sci-fi area. I feel like they might be good for a big super smelter project. Like because of the crafter and the new kelp, the way that kelp is going to be good for smelters. I feel like having something that looks like a big furnace, but is also got some copper highlights and stuff could help with the warmth in a build like that. It's a big spotch of land there. Might have to break that up a bit. Yeah, those are the new copper blocks for like the solid copper blocks. Maybe. So I guess that's the oxidized, no, the unoxidized copper. For the oxidized copper, I mean, I've there's a spot on the server. I'd have to find it again, but there is a spot where there's like two ocean monuments that are really close by, and being able to use prismarine and copper and the various different kinds of orange and teal in those ranges would be really cool to build like a double guardian farm. Not that we really need it, but just would be a fun technical project. Especially with the crafter, because the crafter, you could now, rather than having chests upon chests with like these useless crystals, you could combine them in the way that you want them with the crafter and have your finished sea lanterns and other prismarine blocks just like ready to go. So that's a possibility for sure. I'm gonna switch these. Well, I feel like we've doubled what we had, maybe. You can see with the highlighted green dots kind of like roughly where we've done the work. I keep on meaning to try the saplings. I don't know if they're going to work very well. They still look like little trees to me in some cases. But it would help with a variety, you know, with the bushes and whatnot. If I did it, I think I'd want to put it someplace where I could put something in front of it. Like here. Maybe even tie it into a bush. No, that looks kind of funny. It might look better when there's stuff around it. I think maybe not in the middle. Maybe if we put it along an edge somewhere, that might work better. Oops. Oh, I had a bucket. Whoops. We're gonna have to go get some more grass soon. I might have to think about taking the grass from some places here where I'll be kind of killing two birds with one stone and removing some grass from a place that's probably gonna get redesigned anyway. Saves me the trouble later. This is where I'd want a swiftness potion. Because we'd want to landscape this whole place anyway. Something that I think would be a really cool addition as a vanilla enchantment would be something that increases the length at which you pick up objects on the ground. I think that would be cool. Sorry for the server-specific question, but are we all okay to fight the dragon again now? I require wings. Yeah, totally. Yep, if you want to. Don't forget there are those towers in there. It's all set to go. I think the only thing that you'd have to consider is I think you'd have to pillar up to one of the new portals. And you've got to resummon the dragon. So it's not, the dragon is not ready for you. You have to bring the crystals. Oh, there's the bucket of water that I meant to place. See, here is where I'd probably want to move this so we can see that brown part. I feel like I probably did all grass in one pass on the other marsh and then came back in with other things. It would be really cool if we got some sort of green, not, I guess we sort of have lichen, but lichen's not green. Like if you could place vines flat on the ground like a carpet, similar to how we've got the pink petals, it would be really neat if we had some sort of like moss or lichen or something. I know we have it already, but like something similar but called something else, where you could lay something down on the ground flat like a carpet, but have there be holes in it so you could see through it. Sort of like what we have here, but like not a full block, just a small portion. Find a nice trick with some of this stuff is putting a carpet on one of the bushes when you've got two next to each other. It tends to make one look taller than the other. I mean, technically it is, but not by much. But like, you can sort of make it, it sort of feels like a little bit more of a lopsided thing. You've never fought the dragon on your own before, Cosmic? Really? What lessons would you say you've learned from working on a long-term project like West Hill? Any other long-term projects, I'd like to have it broken up into smaller things. It's very similar to the lessons learned from Satisfactory, where one giant factory gets very complicated and takes up a lot of headspace. Whereas if you build satellite factories and then use trains to move things around, it becomes a little bit easier to wrap your head around what you're doing. And I think the thing here, and it did sort of work out that way, in that we had the wall, and then we had individual builds within, and I would finish one and then move on to the next. So that kind of worked. I think I would take the time, now that I know more about landscaping because of all the practice I've had. There are sections of the town, like this area here by the church, that I didn't move any of this. This is all naturally where the rivers were in Minecraft. I smoothed them out, but I didn't change anything. And so as a result, the shape of West Hill is really weird. And so I would do more custom changing of things, you know, like a simple change to connect those rivers, or like do something else with this. Fill in this river, have this river go farther, have the town go farther, and have the wall be a nice smooth kind of like thing. Have this be the south gate instead of this be the south gate. It's like stuff like that, where the challenge for me in this was like sticking to the Minecraft landscape that I was talking about earlier, but also there are some things and decisions I made that I'm not happy with. And next time around, I'm just like, you know what? It's a lot of work, but I know I can do it well. So we're ripping up the landscape. You know what? Let's make this one tall. Still missing some spots where I'm like, it's feeling kind of bare. I do not have small drip leaf. I've got one. And I need to come up with a data pack that allows us to propagate that, to farm it. I'd rather hit it with bone meal and just get another one, or combine it with bone meal in a crafting table, something. I do have some, and I agree it does look good. I've used it. I think I've got some down there, maybe. Where can I put another bush? Be here. Dead bush, I mean, specifically. I feel like maybe instead of spreading those out evenly, they should be grouped up. Like they feel like their own species. They do look like a plant, but I feel like if we push them more towards like the back or something, it might look like they're growing somewhere more on purpose. They look really good on the rooted dirt, the muddy mangrove roots rather. Actually, they probably look good on rooted dirt too. See, there I feel like we can probably get away with that. Feel like that looks pretty good. We've got this nice little look off spot here, so we can kind of add some extra things in there. Yeah, it's not bad. Cool. Cosmic says, no, I've never fought the dragon myself in survival. Yeah, getting the wings it's a fun accomplishment, you know, the weird thing is, or I guess the funny thing is, fighting the dragon once you have wings, like once you've got a couple of pair and you're like, I need to use these and I want to use these and I've got a spare if anything bad happens. Fighting the dragon with Elytra is a lot easier. You're a lot faster, so you get hit a lot less. I think that's coming together pretty well. Now, where did I put that small drip leaf? I think it's in the fishing village. Yeah, down there. I do have a couple over here. Yeah, they look great. Like they work really well. Especially next to the big flat ones. Like I feel like together they work. They work very well. I do know where there's more, so we could go get some more. I keep on seeing this front tower, And I keep on forgetting. I'm sure it's on my list, but we've got bell towers south, east, and west. So there's the east bell tower. There's the west bell tower up there. And my plan is to change the design of the top of that because it's roughly the same size. And we'll put a north bell tower up there. So it'll be a nice white one. So we've got wood over there. I think that might also be a little diorite. Yeah, not too much. And then we've got the red one over there. I think this one's green in the south. No, this one's white in the south. So we might make another one that's very similar up here. I think that could be cool. GrandpaCrafter gifting a tier 1 sub to T30 Drifts. Thanks so much, GrandpaCrafter. That's very generous of you. T30, you can join the Discord now. Connect to your Discord and your Twitch accounts, and then join the Joel Duggan Discord in your Connections tab. Need some more rockets. We've got a couple of mods that are obviously needing updates too, because they're probably ready for 20.2, and we're on 20.1. And I'd really like to just move right to 20.3, but again, I don't know when that's coming out. MindTripMedia coming in with 100 bits. Thanks ever so much, MindTrip. Appreciate it. That brings a hype train real close for anybody that's interested. I say that, and there's no real new rewards for hype trains, so it's kind of hard to kind of promote them as a streamer. Not there. Getting to the point now where I have to think about what I'm going to do for this wall. Aldebar coming in with 100 bits, kicking off that hype train. Thanks so much, Aldebar. Appreciate that. There's a shout out for Aldebar in chat for folks who want to go check out, seeing what they're up to. It's Halcyon Heights, right? That's the server that you're on? Or do you have both a single player and Halcyon Heights? Given the amount of work on Halcyon Heights, I'd imagine it's probably just the only thing that you do. Is there a website for folks to go check out, like, all the people that stream or participate in Halcyon Heights? I guess it could be YouTube as well, not just streaming. Man, this is a big marsh. Someone is asking me about lessons learned. Build smaller marshes. Or choose a method that gives you similar results, but maybe doesn't take quite as much time. Yep. One of those streams where you just, concentration is required. Got another minute and a half left on that first level of hype train. Aldebar says I primarily play on Halcyon Heights. And there it is, halcyonheights.wordpress.com. Halcyon spelled Halcyon. For folks maybe watching on YouTube later. Over on Joel Duggan VODs on YouTube. Where does that land, Aldebar, in the family-friendly space? Is it like family-friendly adjacent? Family-friendly? Adults only? Just so people that have small humans know what to expect. Embarrassed that I don't know. I feel one of the problems with being a content creator is that the amount of content that you consume goes down considerably. Like I used to listen to a lot more podcasts, but now you end up being so busy making them. Same thing with streams. I used to watch a lot more streams. I think a lot of it was me learning how I wanted to stream, like people that were doing cool things, stuff I wanted to emulate. Family-friendly / family-friendly adjacent. So sort of like, the innuendo jokes from like Pixar movies, like that kind of level of, there might be a nod here and there. Break time when you race this Cosmic. I am sticking to these today, folks. Not have the best sleep last night, so in order to stream for the day, I definitely need to make sure that I'm getting my breaks. However, I feel like the good conversation and the diligent progress means that we are halfway done. I think we're halfway done. Survey says, that might have been wishful thinking. Well, I guess area-wise, it does get thinner down here. So we're getting there. We're getting there. I can't think of anything else that I want to put in there, like no other types of blocks, so that's good. At least we're not like, at least our inventory is not overflowing. Like at least this is all we need to get the job done, right? Like that's a good thing. This is going to be time consuming as well. We need to figure out, I think this might have to change shape here. But folks, I take a break once an hour. Cosmic has kindly reminded me of that. I just grab a spot in here to AFK. You can, of course, grab a friend, a snack, a drink, whatever you want. We'll be back in 5 or 6 minutes. We are always trying to grow the channel, so any extra eyeballs that you can tell about what we're up to, I would appreciate it. I'll be right back. All right, let's see how much more we can get done. Oh, hi. I guess I must be just far enough away. Don't want you walking around, please and thank you. Well, that didn't work. Normally I can get those guys. Guess we haven't turned on the do not destroy blocks thing. I thought we had that on. Guess not. Back in Dartmouth Meadows, that happened so often or in the early game. All you have to do is dig down one block in most places, and it's nothing but cobblestone. So whenever a creeper blew up, it would only ever blow up the top grass blocks because we just got so tired of filling in giant holes. That's pretty funny. It's like Dartmouth Meadows, the starter zone has like a reinforced cobblestone underground. It's pretty wild. I don't know when it's ever called for, Cosmic. Creeper explosion was uncalled for. When is it ever like, yay, creeper explosion? People might be on their own there. I think I want to do the same thing here that we did before. Can maybe even pull this back a little bit, have some fun. Just gently change this up a little bit as we go. It's a little bit too even. We'll just get rid of this one. Yeah. So at least for now, it looks like there's like a finished edge to it. We could also come back with green concrete powder. Oh, and these work really well too. Want to make things look a little bit brighter. So that might actually look better here. Might be a little bit distracting, but if you put some grass in front of it, it might not be so bad. It happened wherever MacCast was, to be fair. No, that's, yeah. I'm not sure how fair that is. He probably doesn't find that fair. But yeah, MacCast is the resident creeper magnet. And I think next to you, Cosmic, maybe the longest running subscriber on the channel. I feel like I want to run around and just add bushes. It gives me something to work with. Springboard from. Might be nice to have some stuff down here that's low too. I feel like I could use some more mangrove roots up this way. Whoops. Yeah, I think I like exposing more of those whenever we can. Once we've decided that there's not going to be any grass in a certain area, it feels like it works pretty well to sprinkle in a little bit more of the roots. They look more marshy, I guess. Technical term. All right. Really, all I'm doing here for folks that might be kind of wondering is kind of, I don't want to space them out like completely evenly, but I also want to have more bushes than I was previously doing. And I'm also just trying to make sure that they don't line up. You know, like I didn't put this one here because it's in a, like in a straight line. And I find that that stuff is usually a dead giveaway in any kind of organic build you're trying to make. It's usually something you want to skip. I mean, you can do, if it's far enough away, sure, it'll work. Because, I mean, it's Minecraft. You're not going to be able to completely avoid putting something on the same line. And then I'm also looking at, like, whenever I do two, if they're close together, I try not to make them the same. Now here, I think we could benefit from dropping one down. Nighttime again. Bren Lyons with the Prime subscription, 2 months in a row. That is the Water Keystone badge, if I'm not mistaken. Water? No, Earth. Earth Keystone. The green one, right? Thank you ever so much for the support. Appreciate it. grass through here. I haven't been planting a lot of ferns, so I gotta keep an eye on that too. They're hard to see after a while, but it makes it's good when you have them. It changes up the look of things. Maybe we should do that, like bushes first, then ferns. Need to throw in some moss carpet too. What I'm trying to do in some of these places is, like, rather than going in a straight line there, I wanted to try and curve it a little bit, and I feel like that tends to work and look the most natural. Whoops. Out of grass? Wow, I might be out of grass. Yep, I'm out of grass. Alright. I have to keep an eye on these shears. Well, I guess where is a spot that needs to be cut down a bit? Probably take this stuff out. This is all going to need to be changed later. I don't think I have any other real large areas to clear. Why are you here? Yeah, this obviously has not been landscaped at all, so this would all be coming down with a shovel anyway, so might as well get it now. I feel like some of this might have been placed on purpose. So I'll leave that. I'll leave that too. We're gonna need a lot more than just this anyway. Probably a stack. 2 stacks. Wow. That was actually pretty fast. Is there anything over here? I'll leave the stuff here. This is obviously going to go. Eventually there will be a small farmhouse here. I'll leave the stuff maybe along the edge, just so that the path doesn't look completely barren. So this is all probably going to be some sort of crop at some point. I might do flowers. I don't know whether this is going to be the farm that has the apiary or whether it's going to be another farm in between here. But it would be cool to have, I think, rolling hills of one of those new too tall flowers, like the pitcher plant or something. Could be kind of fun. The idea with this whole area was for it to be like a fantasy medieval area, not just medieval. Here where I had a pond that I wanted to drain down, I think. Should be 3 stacks. Close enough. Am I keeping the many bees? Yeah, I want to do some sort of farm. I'm not sure where all the bees are. I only ever see like 3 of them out at a time, but each one has got bees in it. It might be because they're all full of honey. So it might be challenging to have a bee farm that looks busy. Well, there's 4. Maybe it's just I caught them at a time when they're all hanging out. Shush, the bees are sleeping. That's fair. Well, that's starting to look pretty good. We haven't taken a step back here on the path and taken a look at the marsh and see what it looks like when you're approaching. You can see a bit more of it. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I think that's looking good. I think I've got a right mix of mud and grass. If anything, I might have gone a little sparse over here. That's pretty good though. Might be a good spot for some moss. I find even just getting up 1 block helps you see a bit more of what you want to do. It might be easier, you know, to come back in at the end and do the ferns. How was that for Frogger? To be honest, I don't think there was ever a problem seeing this from the road. You could see enough of the marsh from the road that made you realize there was something there to investigate. Yeah, that's cool. That's kind of the main idea. You're obviously going to get a better impression of it from up here. It's going to be hard to see because we've started at the other end, of course. But coming down here, I wonder, I mean, this is going to be nighttime, so it's not going to be the easiest thing. Yeah, you're not going to be able to see anything until you pass through the western gate, right? But that looks pretty cool. Like, that fills up the right-hand side of your screen pretty well. And yeah, you'll be able to see it stretch out in front of you. Certainly enough to go, what is that, you know? Nice view of the cliffs from up here, too. That'll be cool. Weirdly, and unfortunately, you're not going to be able to see the big waterfall from up here. It's just going to be the little ones. So I may have to push that a little bit more to the right. Just to kind of have that angle, you know? Joel is a frog, confirmed. Nope. Nope, that's the other guy. That's the tadpole guy. Wrong bald guy. Close. But not quite. So one thing I haven't yet really changed or looked at is this back wall. And right now it feels like it's kind of in the marsh. And I think what I'd like to do is try to pile things up. So I'm going to grab a little bit of cobblestone just to kind of give myself a bit of a breather here. I'm just curious if that'll look good if I piled things up a little bit higher. Can't really see from back here. It might be more important with this one. Maybe we'll try it there first. So just like before, I'll take a quick screenshot. So I'm thinking here it would be nice if more of this was rock. And maybe even piled right down into here. Yeah, I think that having a stronger base rather than having it look like it's on something organic, I think if we made it really look like it was piled up there, it wouldn't have to be the whole way, but I think maybe just a couple of places it would look good. Maybe like right there. Jody Illyria subscribing with Prime, 33 months, lucky number 33. Hello, Joel and chat. Happy to finally have some time to catch a stream. Thanks very much for being here. Good to see you. Oops. Just to kind of make it look like it's reinforced, you know? We'll come back with proper textures later. Nope, progress fail. Yeah, so that's a little too high. You might want to grab regular cobble slabs. Yeah, I think that'll help a lot. This one's going to be more dramatic, and that's fine. Because what we can do here is we can even pull this down a little bit and have it pile back up. But I think that will look cool if it was more rock texture. We'll get some gravel and stuff going too. I don't know if I'm going to do any vines. I think I like the clean look of the front wall actually. Maybe in a place like this where it's a nice wide section that we could do it. And also kind of plain in there. And it has the overhang protection so someone couldn't like climb a vine and get up there. Like I feel like there'd be problems. 511 Wharton, this is a medieval town. So says the title of the stream. And we're working on a marsh outside of it, outside the front wall. So I feel like that technique of putting down the bushes and then spiraling the grass out of the bushes seems to be going pretty well. That's kind of close. Let's not do that. I find with all of this kind of stuff, there's always that kind of constant backing up and looking at things and trying to get some perspective on it. It's like a drawing, you know, if you're sitting too close to it, you're focusing too much on the small details. You need to like zoom out, step away, step back. Painting, same thing. A little bit clumpy back there, but I think that's just because I haven't really had a chance to work through most of it. Need a bush back there near that dead bush. I need some grass in there. And bushes back here. Yeah, there's no bushes back here. I think I like them better when they're single and they don't have moss on top of them. We could also move or have one of these other trees back here too. The azalea sapling. I'm trying to remember all the proper. I don't call these leaf blocks. I call them bushes. It's silly. I don't know what that many people call them bush blocks, unless they're actually trying to like do a tutorial or something. Call them leaf blocks, I mean. So yeah, just did it again. It's like that. It's like smooth stone and smooth stone. They're two different things and everybody knows what you mean. Thanks, 511. Corrales calls them bushes. Yeah. Yeah, that's a fun meme on his channel. Zyler was taken. Thanks very much for the follow. Oops. I guess we'll go with some grass there. Maybe one of those could be a fern. Maybe some ferns in here. Do this one. And I haven't really done any of that deep grass along here yet. Kind of a cool spot. Any places along here that could use it? Probably like right here. Seagrass has a weird noise. That actually looks terrible. So never mind. I think it was just the way that the seagrass was placed or where it was on the block. That's better. Cool. And we only have to worry about that where players can see it, you know? Nice. Every time I turn around to go back to my storage stuff, I see this ugly grass side. I think I'm just gonna quickly push this to moss. I'm not sure what's going to go along here, but for now it'll look better. that's that part, and then do the top part here too. Need a little bit more. And of course, we'll finish all this once we know what's happening with this. And I texture the road and just, decide how I'm going to keep the road. I might actually have to figure out what's happening with that farm, and then we'll figure out the final road. So trying not to make more work for myself than I need to. But sometimes things that you're walking by, or things that you see in screenshots that you're trying to take and share with people, you're like, if I took the 2 minutes to fix this. Yeah, that's much better. And then this, I'm not going to bother with because I have no idea whether it's staying where it is. So we'll just leave that. Or at least part of it. Don't need all this grass. Dirt. Those are muddy blocks. All the flowers can go in there. All right. I probably get asked a lot, but how do you maintain momentum to keep going with projects? You know what? I don't play when I don't want to. I don't play off stream in general. I play Satisfactory off stream a little bit, but that's because there's just so much behind the scene number crunching, and I find that that's not the best. Like it's not always entertaining to really have to sit down and like crunch numbers. So I always explain what I've done after, but I tend to be a little bit more off stream with Satisfactory. But with Minecraft, it's I'm a bit of a completionist. I have absolutely hit walls with West Hill where I've taken breaks to go build a flower farm for Cosmic. I made a moss farm that took a month. There's a chunk in the 3 years that I've been working on West Hill. There was a 2-month chunk in one summer. I think it was when 118 came out? Either way, I built a geode farm, a zombie copper farm, a drowned copper farm on a zombie spawner, and I did the flower farm for Cosmic, and the moss farm. Like, I mean, the flower farm was separate, but the moss farm happened at the same time as the other stuff, and like I was 8 weeks just not even playing in this area, just because I needed a break. Right now, the biggest problem is a data pack is broken. My tables and chairs data pack that I was using from Chuck or Axel, I guess is their handle now, and it's not working. So I've been procrastinating on fixing that. I feel like I want to add something tall in here. So yeah, and it's a valid question. We get it, you get it on all the time on things. I think one of the tips we often give players that want to do big projects is having multiple sizes of projects on the go, but then also having different types of projects on the go. So like I've noticed that when I want to break from West Hill, like when I'm feeling the monotony, or if I'm stuck creatively, like if I'm just not sure how I'm going to solve a problem yet, then I'll end up going and doing a redstone build, or I'll go digging for something and help, going resource collecting. We took a couple breaks from building the swamp to go get the mangrove roots that we needed an absolute ton of, and that was probably 2 hours of streaming, like an hour each stream to go to the mangrove swamp, chat on the way, and then spend 45 minutes, digging up mangrove stuff. I mean, it doesn't help that mangrove are a real pain. So this looks very stripy and weird. So we'll have to figure out how we're going to handle that. But yeah, like I feel like if you line up different types of projects, so that when you get a break, you get a proper change in how you're thinking creatively. I feel like that's usually a good way to go. Burnout seems too easy when projects are grand and not broken into manageable steps. Scope creep. Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah. And that's the thing, like if I can get up here, like I broke the town into sections, and I broke it. I mean, after that you break it down building by building. Like this whole area is the market area. So everything over here is a shop or some sort of service, and so that helps with like, what idea do you have next? Well, then you have a list. Like you need like a cooper for making barrels. You need a butcher. You need a baker. You need a blacksmith. You need all that kind of stuff. Carpenter. All that. The list becomes very easy in what to do next. Along here was a little bit harder because these are just like houses that people live in, and then you're just like, well, it's a house, but I got to make it look different. And then over up at the top of the hill here, and this is that natural hill that I was talking about. Like the road comes up here and actually goes up to another level. You can see the height difference here, and this is all like town, not military really, but like that's the barracks. These are houses. That's a stable. This is just a storage warehouse. This is someone's house, but I don't know who. Not really finished in the back either. And then then you get the keep and the drawbridge, and then you get down around the other side, and this is a lot of houses. There are some shops, but it's also the west part of town. There's more trees. The houses are bigger, they're fancier, they're different materials. You can see like it's all brown and gray over here, and then this, you can see the different color roofs and towers and different details and whatnot. And so I was working on this section before I worked on that section, and there's the poor fishing village down to the south. There's all those kind of rules that kind of give yourself to make it easier to understand. And then, like I said, within that, of course, you're working on like one build at a time. And I want to say it was like 2 or 3 streams per building, like you're between 6 and 9 hours, because I was taking my time and decorating the inside, and it depends on the size of it. Something larger would take a lot longer. These towers took at least a stream or 2, that kind of thing. This was like weeks. The mansion was weeks. That took forever. That's a big complicated build because I wanted it to work inside and outside. Same thing with the church. All those things took a long time. But I think the only thing that's weird now is that this is starting to look very plain, right? So we'll have to figure out what we want to do there. And I do know that I want to put like a building here. I don't think there's no building going to go between, between here. But I think this might be a good spot to put signage, like to put a big oak like log with like hanging signs, sort of like this setup, but with the new hanging signs, and have it be like, west or east to, the East Bridge and, the market, and then West Hill straight ahead. Whoops. West Hill straight ahead. And then, I don't know, the West Bridge, and I'm not sure what kingdom would be out that way. Like that kind of stuff would be cool. It would be really neat if there was other kingdoms that other people on the server had made. Like if someone decided that they wanted to make something way over here, we could connect that road and say, west to Alistair's kingdom of lava and doom, like whatever, that kind of stuff. I don't do any planning in creative. The only time I've done planning in creative previously has been for redstone stuff, and that was really back when I was early Minecraft, like when I was new to the game, and it's been 7 years, so I don't really do much in creative. Every now and again I want to measure something out, but honestly I do everything here live on stream, and so you can watch those VODs on Joel Duggan VODs on YouTube. It's all free. Thanks for the link in the chat, Cosmic. And you can see that process. So if you're wondering like how I go about sorting out this curtain wall, how I decide how big a build is going to be, what do I do when I'm in a small space and I've got limited options, that kind of stuff. I feel like over here in the west of town, we were really limited for space. And so coming up with different colors and different ways to handle things like the back pathway here, this space was limited, all through here. We really didn't have a lot of room between the river and the road, and it was very high, very steep. I had to figure out how to do this house. Like there's all this stuff, all these problems that you have to solve. And I feel like by doing it live, it's a lot more fun. But it all lines up, like it all works together. I mean, minus the data pack tables that are broken, but it all kind of comes together. And I think the process of solving that live is a really cool thing to share with people, because then they're getting problem solving. They're seeing that. One of the reasons why I've not had to tear down this thing 6 times is because I'm very careful with my planning, and very often you'll see me put in like a skeleton of a house, like just like, for example, like just that, the wall, like just the outline, like a box, and I'll leave it there, and I'll leave it there for a week, and I'll just be walking by it. I'll be working on something else, like a marsh or a light or a wall or something else, and then I'll realize, you know what, that's too tall, and I'll knock it down by a block. And I've saved myself a headache of building it all in one go and realizing, oh, the whole thing is too tall or 1 block too far to the left. And then you're like, God, I have to tear the whole thing down. So very often I'll end up building, and you'll see that on some of the stream VODs, is that like it'll be the frame of the roof, like test to see how high it is. Is that going to block my view of something? Like all that kind of stuff. And I find that that's helpful. And that eliminates the need to do creative building. And then I'm not cannibalizing my own content by building something in creative on my own and then not sharing that process, and then just building it block for block, from a plan or something here on stream. And what ends up happening is like I'm working through the process on stream, so people I feel like can identify a little bit more with what's going on, and hopefully pick up some tips about how they can do that themselves. The other thing that I don't like about building in creative modes, I just don't like building things twice. It's that feeling of, for anybody that's an artist or maybe works in some sort of software where you have to like have save files and stuff, and you're like, the software crashes and you lose 30 minutes worth of work. Is it the end of the world? No. Is it a real pain? Yeah. Are you mad that you have to do the exact same thing you just did over again? especially if you're in a creative space, because I find that when you're in a creative space for that kind of stuff, you end up just like the happy accidents and the intuition that you take advantage of when you're doing that kind of thing. When that is then erased, oh, it's maddening. So here's an example of these two bushes lining up, and I don't like it. So we're going to move it over there. I'm going to put one there instead. Stream time is at 2 hours, says Cosmic. Thank you. We're real close to finishing the bushes, so I think we'll take another short break. I'd like to try and keep the momentum going. I do want to switch over and play some Satisfactory today, but I don't have a whole lot of time. Maybe that's just a good idea to take a break and do Satisfactory. We're almost there. Hold on, let me sleep so I can get a good look at this. We've done a lot of progress today. I think my issue with this is that it's not the most interesting thing to talk about, and which is why I appreciate the questions and the comments in chat, because it gives us something to discuss while we're doing bush and grass placement. Because I find, you know, when I'm problem solving, working through art issues, textures, like all that kind of stuff, I can talk about what I'm doing. But when I'm just placing grass and bushes and trying to be naturalistic about it, I don't find there's a lot to talk about in terms of the actual process. I like this. I like the edges. That's really come together nice. We'll have to do more of that along here as well. I need to pop over to that other marsh and see how I made it like sparse as I got closer to running over. So you can sort of see how the mud gets less dense as it gets closer to the edge. And some of this might even have to be pulled away and turned into stone and stuff. But I think what I'll do is we'll do Minecraft for another, 10 or 15 minutes. It should be enough to finish the bushes. I'll have to do the rest. I mean, I'm not going to be able to finish the cliffs and stuff today, so that's fine. Yeah, so I got farther apart with the bushes. Actually, the bushes just stopped entirely, didn't they? Yeah. So there's like a good 6 or 8 blocks. Yeah, I'd say the bushes are probably going to stop about here, really. They can grow in between the falls. Oh, maybe that's a whole other thing. Yeah, so this whole thing here is going to be, it's going to be a rocky kind of outcrop, kind of like a piece of bedrock that they built part of the wall on. And it might have like this kind of detail. It might have that. I don't know what we're doing here. So it'll have its own thing. There might be some stuff coming at the bottom as well. Like it's got some spots down here. We could put like bushes and stuff like that. So I haven't really thought that far ahead. I'm mostly just thinking about the marsh and how it might drain into things. I think we might actually want to push this bit farther away. So just like we did with the mud blocks, I want to start to maybe have a farther distance between the bushes. Because that might be it in terms of like how far the bushes go. Maybe one here. Where am I looking? And maybe we'll get rid of this one. Get up, see what that looks like. Yodi, thanks very much. Yeah, I'd say that sort of falls off. It'll be more obvious, I think, with the grass in place. So honestly, we're really close, I think, to finishing this pass. So I think I'll just go in here and add some grass and kind of push this where I want it to be. And then we can have less grass happening as we get closer to the cliff. I also am going to run out of grass sometime soon. So there's that. Wow. Not what I wanted to do. Bucket. Is there an empty spot over here that I can just grab? Now, where did that go? There it is. So when we get over to here, we can start to thin the grass out a little bit, maybe. I mean, it's going to help that there's more water between everything. Oh no, lots of grass. Now, some of these we can maybe even have like extra roots to again make it feel like it's getting less dense. Now some of this is going to change, I'm sure. But the design feel of it, I want to feel has like a momentum to it. Right, I shouldn't say a momentum, a lack of. I feel like it might be a little bit more dense closer to the wall here. So really sparse over here, but then have a little bit more grass up in this area. Not a lot, just enough to say that it's still happening. Sort of feels like it ends in a straight line. So I might need to cut some of that back. So I'll get rid of that one and probably that one. Try to create a little bit more space. It's too bad that you can't see the grass on the map, because that would be helpful. Because you can see the green bushes, like they obviously get thinner as they get closer to the edge. I think that might be good for now. Yeah, I'll have to do a little bit more work with that. I think it might need some more work with the rocks, because they're feeling kind of underwhelming at the moment. I'm not seeing anything too drastic. It's hard at nighttime. T30 drifts. Yeah, no, that's what I was thinking of. That's what I was thinking of. I don't know if it's a big enough area for that to work, but yeah, that would be one of those rules that I was talking about earlier, where you just kind of make up something, some reason for the density of your bushes or the textures or something like that. And I was trying to do it there. Maybe I could still do that. I think I might have removed too much from there. Yeah, that was the idea, was to have a little bit more right there in that kind of half moon shape. I didn't see anything else too glaring. There's a spot there and a spot there. A little bit light. And up here. Oh yeah, here we go. And I feel like here, another spot there. Yeah, I'm not seeing too much. I must have started to get good at it. Spot right there. And it doesn't take much. It's just like, just narrowing down. You don't want to cover up all of the mud empty spots. You just kind of want to grab a couple of things. Basically, I feel like anything when there's like 5 blocks that are all brown next to each other, it doesn't look very good. Seems like it kind of needs something. You just kind of figure with this environment, there would be, you know, enough growth happening to cover most of what you're seeing. The other thing too is just being able to it's too bad we don't have anything like flies. I guess I could bring a frog or something, but there's no guarantee they're going to stay here. I feel like it would be really fun to have, I don't know how you would do it. I guess it would be like a block, like an animated block that's just like flies buzzing, or this is the kind of thing where it would be really neat to have a data pack where you could have like sound effects. They did that in Hermitcraft this year, where they had, I think it was discs, custom music discs, and then they had ambient music or ambient sounds. I think it was Pearlescent Moon. Cosmic, you might be able to fill me in. I think it was Pearlescent Moon that had some stuff going like that. Again, just trying to make this feel a little bit more water heavy some places. And being precious about not leaving these muddy mangrove roots behind, because man, they're a pain to collect. Another spot that needs some love too. Oh, and this is a weird empty section. Let's do that. You know, I'm pretty happy with that. I think the only thing that I didn't do was place down ferns, and our shears are getting real low. I'll have to be careful here. Yeah, it is definitely easier to go back through and sprinkle some ferns around. Rather than trying to do it as you go the first time. Cool. Well, it gets to the point now where I can't see what I'm doing, and that's good. Like, I feel like the density is there where you get a mix of brown and blue. Too bad we can't change the water color, but then you get, it's pretty evenly dense all the way back. We've got a couple spots. I've got some tall things. The big thing is going to be, I think, adding some of those in for flavor, but then also that's going to come, I think, with the wall. Once I finish the wall, or the base of the wall, I should say, which is going to be more of that rubble. I think that's probably going to come together pretty well. T30, thanks very much. Thanks very much. Let's toss some shaders. Getting close to sunset and just fly back over here. Sunset's not the best time. I think sunrise is better. I think I might take down that tower too. It's kind of distracting. I do like the way that the sun hits the leaf blocks in the marsh differently than it does the grass. So it really helps with some of the depth. But that stretches all the way to the waterfall now. I think it looks pretty good. Yeah, again, this place looks very barren now out in front, so we'll have to do something out here. I'm going to get this this thing out of the way. Weird kind of fuzziness, like atmospheric fuzziness in the scaffolding blocks. We'll walk up this way and see before the sun sets. I really wish I could play with shaders on all the time. It's such an immersive experience. I really like it. So I don't know how much of this is going to be in shadow as the sun goes behind the mountain. But that's actually a pretty cool view. Yep, I think that looks great. And I like that we've really trailed off on the greenery. I might be able to come up with some more moss and some things down there. Or we could take some of the bushes and like put them in the water. That could help that too. Like racing the sunset. Yeah, that's a cool view coming in from the west. I quite like that. Again, I don't know what to do when you've got these empty spaces like this that are like 10 or 12 blocks wide. And I mean, we've got them at other places. Like I feel like I've got some spots over here that we had that. Yeah, I mean, like I just threw in a bunch of bushes and grass and like it's all you can really do. And it's fine. Like it's not bad. These weirdly, they light up. Like it's a very strange way that they catch the light versus the way that moss does. I'm not sure what's going on with the shaders, but it's a very peculiar thing that happens. I guess maybe it's because they're a block. But I mean, it's still very light compared to this, you know? Let's just sleep. Get the sunrise instead. Clearly looks muddy and marshy. That's what I'm going for. C Zerno, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. One of the downsides of having a clock and knowing when you can sleep is that you become impatient. Whereas if you didn't have the clock, you had to wait until it was dark enough, you know? Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with that. That's a strange, just the top of them. I might have to look at my settings. Wagons to stop by. Yeah, I had something like that over here too. So I could put something like that in there, you know, actually put a wagon. That could be interesting. I think having an area here that like a cutoff here, a little section here that has like a sign will help, you know, like the signpost. But like the other thing that we could do too is have things here that block the view, you know, having more, I mean, these are bright, but stuff like that. And all of a sudden you don't have to worry about anything behind them, right? Because you can't see them from the road. So those are options. But yeah, looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. I like how you've got the sun kind of peeking around the main gate. Definitely creates some visual interest to the front of this place and feels more separate. Like I feel like that now feels like you just can't walk up to it. And even if you could, not that you could do much because it's a huge wall, but you can't get anywhere near it with this marsh in front of you. And I like that. So anyway, folks, I am going to switch over and play some Satisfactory. There will be a separate VOD, so the stream will stop briefly. But if you're enjoying the day and you'd like to stick around and continue to hang out, happy to have you. If you want to watch this later on Joel Duggan VODs on YouTube, if you came in late and you want to see the start of the stream, then you can do that there. And if you want to see this town entirely built live on YouTube, it's all unedited VODs on Joel Duggan VODs. You can also listen to the Spawn Chunks podcast. We record tomorrow, new episode, talking about the latest snapshot, the changes that they made to the crafter, and changes that they made to the copper bulb, I think. You can check that out at thespawnchunks.com. I also do the Citadel Cafe at thecitadelcafe.com. And speaking of holidays, we recorded an episode talking about holiday movies and kind of a game of pass or play, what our favorite holiday movies are. You can, of course, subscribe here on Twitch if you would like to support. But another way to do that is on Patreon. That's at patreon.com/JoelDuggan. And that is where I get a lot of the support for the stream. I really, truly appreciate it. And it's only $2 a month, less than the price of a cup of coffee. Gets you access to the Discord, access to all kinds of nerdy chats happening in there. And until the next Minecraft stream, which is not scheduled until Friday. So I stream Thursday through Sunday. And right now, Thursday is Satisfactory scheduled. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday is Minecraft. At least that's how we start Minecraft, or start those streams with Minecraft. So I will see folks sticking around in 10 minutes, and I'll see the Minecraft folks, I guess, next time. Take care. Hope you have a fantastic Sunday, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.